Hi folks. So I saw this battle recently in a multiplayer game that I watched, and the battle wasn't hopeless. It was like 40-60 going towards the player. The player had a Boyar, Frost Maiden with 3 spells, some Kosars, some basic Archer Kosars, some Streltsy, and 2 Wing Lancers. And they were going up against an army filled with Tzeentch units, mostly pink horrors, but there were 4 very scary units there. There were 2 Chaos Knights of Tzeentch and 2 Flamers of Tzeentch, which are very powerful late-stage Tzeentch units. And it was more or less 50, 40, 60, 50, 50 most of the game, but then the battle ended with a collapse for the player, mostly because I think they tried to go toe-to-toe with Tzeentch using missile units, which I don't think you can do. I think a different tactic is needed in order to win against Tzeentch. We have a lot of very strong missiles in this army, but not enough to overcome Tzeentch. So I think we're going to have to do much more hand-to-hand combat than is normally expected. So we're going to put these 2 guys on melee mode for the most part, and we might need to flip some of these co-stars to melee as the game progresses. So let's first rearrange our units so that they're a little bit tighter. With the Streltsy, let's keep them off to the side. They'll be doing a lot of shooting, but we need them in key tactical positions. With the horses, let's place the horses sort of close to the center so they can very quickly move backwards. And let's grab these guys, shift them back a little bit, because we want the horses to intercept their shooting units as fast as possible. We essentially don't want anyone to shoot at us at all. We don't want anyone shooting at us at any point in the game. If they're shooting at us, that means we are losing. So we need to do everything we can to prevent their armies from shooting. And ideally, we also need to use the terrain. Their armies aren't good at hitting us if we're in the trees. They also can't aim well if they're in the trees, at least not after 3 seconds. So if we tie them down in the trees, they'll move slower, especially their knights. Their knights will move slower, and we can take care of units a little bit as they pop up. So let's start the battle. We don't have too many winds of magic, but let's see what we can make of it. And let's put these guys into a control group. Maybe let's put these guys into a control group. Okay, so let's start this battle and see what we're up against. Okay, so right away, you see that we have these Chaos Knights of Tzeentch, very strong, very powerful unit. 120 armor, lots of melee attack. We have lots and lots of pink horrors, but we also have Flamers. Flamers are very, very powerful ranged units. The good news is that they're very spread out. They're spread out in a line, so what will happen is these units will try to come over this way, and they'll have to, if we keep ourselves concentrated and we keep ourselves over to this plane, they'll have to trek a long way before they can start shooting at us. They have fairly short range, especially the Flamers, so it'll be a while before they can aim at us, giving us a little bit of a chance to do something interesting before things go bad. The other thing is the edge of the map is right here, so the more we can deny them maneuverability, the better. So we kind of want to move in as quickly as possible, tie down as many units as possible, prevent anyone from shooting, and with these guys, move them in over here so they'll be in position. And with the Boyar and the Princess, I mean the Frost Maiden, let's move them in over here. So let's see how that will work. But yeah, keep your forces away from the trees. Keep them concentrated together. Let's change the order pattern on these guys. Let's go over this way. This one has spears. Let's try to make the most of that. Remember, if they're shooting, we're losing. Look at that. A few shots and already we're tied down a bit. So let's go this way. Let's start casting some magic. Magic, not the best use of magic though. With these Streltsy, let's start doing this. Let's put this one on manual combat. Okay, this one's not shooting. These guys aren't shooting. Let's get in over here. Let's get in over here. With the Frost Maiden. Let's do that. These guys, let's move them over here. These guys, okay, these guys can start shooting. Now let's use his special ability. And with her, let's do that. Notice I'm keeping them tied down and preventing all of these units here in the woods. They're being tied down by this one unit of knights. They're doing okay, they're not doing the best. But notice I just eliminated this army. Let's grab one unit over here. Let's grab another unit over here. And with this one, let's go over here. How is she doing? She's doing fine. Let's remove some of the speed on their units. Now most of my units will die. They're going to die. They're not very effective at hand-to-hand combat. But the goal is to prevent them from shooting. If they're shooting, then we're losing. If they're not shooting, we have a chance. And it might be better for us to we're going to cast some spells. Now in the actual battle that I saw, the player had a lot more winds of magic than I do over here. This is a let's put these on and let's go this way. Okay, let's prevent them from doing that. He's retreating, so let's put him back. Remember, if they're shooting, we're losing, so prevent them from shooting. And now we have to sort of slowly roll them up. We have to slowly roll them up. Alright, let's buff our units. Let's keep shooting. Okay, you're back. If you're back, start shooting again. Good. The battle is slowly turning in our favor. Okay, well that's not good. Let's go over there. Let's start shooting at them. Now the nice thing about... Oh no. Some magic being used against us. I think they might need some reinforcements. So let's send some reinforcements over here. We just have to finish a couple more units, just a couple more units. But yeah, generally make the most of your magic. Generally make the most of your magic. And you can see the battle is turning in our favor. And why? Because we didn't try to go head-to-head with missile units. We used the Streltsy. The Streltsy have a straight line of fire. You see how they shoot in a straight line. So they need to be unobstructed. They need clear territory in front of them in order for them to see their target. Archer units shoot in an arc, so they can shoot over enemies. And now let's go for their lord. Let's try to take out their lord and decapitate their situation. And it's okay if I lost both of those knights. They're both going to rout, but I got value out of the knights by preventing them from using any of their ammunition. That's the key. I prevented any of the ammunition being used. And now their knights, their last unit of Chaos Knights of Tzeentch, completely useless. Look, it's almost full units, 35 units out of 60. It's almost full units, but it was held down throughout the battle. It didn't do much. And the Frost Maiden is alive, the Lord is alive. We're gonna buff ourselves. He's not gonna come back. He's completely routed. You can see that he's routed with a flag. He's not gonna come back. So now we just win the battle. And that's the end of the battle. Let's see what the situation looks like in the post-battle report. Let's end this battle. And you can see 700, 785. I have half my army remaining. They have very little remaining. Who did most of the value here? Who did most of the value? Notice that most of the value in terms of kills came actually from the Streltsy. They had an unobstructed line where they were shooting, and they did a lot of damage. Damage 10,000, damage almost 10,000. The other units, their value, yes, the Cossars, the armored Cossars and the great weapon Cossars, they did good work as well. The archers didn't really do that much value. 4,000, 2,000. Their role was just to sort of hold things down, and a few of them I flipped over into melee mode at times. I think two of them I flipped into melee mode. The knights did value because they charged into key units, but the value that they delivered was in holding units down. Throughout most of the battle, these units did not shoot at all. I don't know if you saw, but when Flamers of Tzeentch and when Pink Horrors, when they shoot, it's very obvious that there's pink and golden flame coming at you. But they didn't shoot at all throughout the battle. And why? Because one unit of cavalry, two units of cavalry, when they're spread out nice and wide, they can tie down 4 to 5 units each. And that gives the rest of your army time to come in, tie them up, use magic to target units who don't have the Tzeentch armor and deal direct damage. And that's it. That's the end of this battle recap.